We follow students in Birmingham and Manchester,
I want to listen to your chest.
juggling academic study
Nothing's going in.
with home life and work on the wards.
Not everybody's going to be cured when they leave hospital.
This time, challenging children,
Sometimes you just don't understand what dangers it can actually cause.
new discoveries,
I mean, it's not every day you come across what you come across in a hospital.
and for one student, a bombshell.
I can't go back on the ward. I'm just so fed up.
As our nurses-to-be step up to the challenge of 21st century nursing.
Yeah, important part of the day.
First-year student Alistair is about to start the placement that will decide if he's really cut out for nursing.
I've had the 2-week tasting, so now I'm allowed to try and become a nurse. So, yeah, this is where the real stuff starts.
He'll spend 2 months on Royal Bolton's orthopaedics ward, tending to every kind of broken bone and fracture.
Starting this placement, I'm properly thrown in the deep end, so there's a lot to come, I think.
The next 8 weeks are make or break for the former carpet fitter. It's when he'll really find out if he has what it takes to be a nurse.
Ever since nursing started, it's always been a female-led environment, so I'm trying to do it for the men, but it's hard when I'm the only man on ward.
Everything a student does is scrutinised by a mentor. Alistair's is junior ward sister, Laura.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous about whether or not I get on with a mentor.
Right, so we're looking to start with pills and obs.
Right, okay. It is quite daunting now. I still feel like I don't know anything.
Codeine, what's that? What drug's codeine?
Can you work out what that means? Do you know how you can tell sometimes whether someone's had too much? Just by looking at them.
Just a bit glazed and a bit.
They have pinprick pupils.
A lot of this placement is like medicines management and getting to know what medicines we use on the wards.
It's 10 milligrams in 5 mils, so how many mils will he be having?
So I just wish I knew a bit more now, so I didn't look as daft when they're asking me questions and I don't know how to answer them.
If you do calculate it wrong, it could be fatal.
My mentor's nice, so she knows what she's talking about.
He's worried that he's never going to be able to, remember everything or cram it all in the 3 years he's got to learn it all. But, when you qualify to be a nurse, you start getting the confidence and that's really when you start to learn and pick it all up.
Today, Alistair's caring for 57-year-old Rosalind. 6 weeks ago, she fractured her shoulder.
I tripped up in the middle of the night. Come downstairs for make a brew, put light on, put kettle on, put my tea bag in the cup, turned round, and I was on the floor. I was picking myself up from the floor. And I didn't know I'd done that. I know my arm was sore, but I just thought I'd been lying funny on it.
Rosalind's brake needs a metal plate inserted to hold her broken bones together. A procedure she's not keen on.
Hello, Rosalind.
Hello.
How you feeling, all right?
Fed up.
Fed up?
I didn't want the operation, but they said it would be best. So I agreed.
Be a lot better when it's done, though, eh?
Yeah.
What, have this sling on, will you? Be a lot more comfortable. Am I all right just checking your temperature in here? Good. Good. 37.3.
Normal?
Whoever told you I was normal was telling lies.
You got any pain, Rosalind?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of pain. I went 3 weeks after I'd done it without taking anything.
Did you? I don't think I could have done that. You're braver than I am. Right. We're back soon, yeah?
All right.
Shan't be too long.
Rosalind's already taken the measure of her student nurse.
He must be a caring sort of bloke. Because if he weren't, they're no good.
These are new, these, actually.
Alistair has ambitions that would take him away from bedside nursing.
When I qualify, I think I want to go into surgery, so I'm gonna turn my degree to go and do that, I think. Can't wait, to be honest.
He hopes to go with Rosalind to theatre. It's an opportunity first years don't often get. In Birmingham, second-year Aimee is hitting the books ahead of her first major exam.
Unlike your first year, in second year your marks count towards your end degree, so I am hoping that I get a really good mark because that's really important to me.
20-year-old Aimee has always dreamt of becoming a nurse, but the road to qualification is littered with obstacles.
We've got quite a lot of work to do, fitting in placement, revision and working. It's going to be quite hard, but hopefully I'll get it done.
For now, revision will have to wait. Aimee still needs to put in the hours on placement at Good Hope Hospital's stroke unit.
Looking bright and chirpy.
Yes, yes.
For Aimee, the job is far more than just bedpans and bandages.
Being a nurse, it's not just about clinical skills. You've got to be able to talk to people because if the patient's happy, it aids to a quicker recovery.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
82-year-old grandmother Maureen has been on the ward since a stroke 3 months ago. She's hoping she'll soon be discharged.
She's made such a massive progress. She's doing really, really well, responded dramatically to treatment. What did the doctor say? Did he shed any light or?
Yes, maybe home.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yes.
That's good. I absolutely love meeting different people, but one of the best things is the fact that you can help people, and just by putting a smile on somebody's face, it can make a massive difference.
Let me know if you need anything. You've got your buzzer, haven't you? See you a bit later. You're welcome.
Aimee doesn't know it yet, but she's soon to see life from the other side, as a patient. In Manchester, 21-year-old Helen is just 6 months from qualifying as a children's nurse.
It's very scary to be nearly at the end of the training.
Hello, Panda staff nurse.
Helen's placement is on the Children's A&E unit at Salford Royal Hospital. Emergency admission, 3-year-old Madison has swallowed something she shouldn't.
Methylparabendiazolindinylurea from a tie. Could be anything.
Helen's all too familiar with the hazards of kids letting curiosity get the better of them.
You do find that a lot, especially when you're working in A&E, that you will experience children swallowing things or putting things up the nose or in the ears because they just do want to see what it feels like, and sometimes they just don't understand what dangers it can actually cause.
Helen and her mentor Kelly must coax their young patient into cooperating.
See the red bar moving up and down? Look at it bouncing. It's jumping.
That's your magic finger. Jump, jump, jump.
I tend to distract the child, try and build up a little bit of trust with them first, and then I'll take physiological observations, so the temperature, the heart rate, the respiratory rate.
7, 8, 9, 10.
We didn't even get to 10 then, and it's done.
The senior nurse tries to determine if what Madison has swallowed is toxic. Meanwhile, patients flood in. Up to 50 children arrive on the unit every day. As a final year student, Helen's expected to take a hands-on, frontline role.
I like to get to the point where I know there is a bit of pressure, or not to the point where it's uncopable, but with a little bit of pressure, I do always work that little bit better.
Oh, no.
Throughout this placement, I have been given a lot more responsibility maybe than I have in past placements. I am getting ready to qualify, and I think I obviously learned a lot, and I've been able to do a lot independently as well.
Some things remain a team effort. But so far, identifying just what young Madison's eaten and if it's poisonous has stumped them all.
Given us that bit there.
What does Toxbase say?
Nothing. Doesn't give us anything, does
Oh,
it?
so is it like a gooey tie?
Methylparaben.
That's what I've just put in.
Is it them ones that you... Oh, yeah, it's that.
You have to phone, if you phone Live Leeds, I'll phone London.
Oh! That.
Working in that environment can be very stressful, and there can be a lot of pressure, so sometimes to come out of it and there be a bit of lightheartedness.
Oh, it stinks.
It's all over your shirt as well.
It just helps people cope with it a little bit better, I suppose.
The liquid Madison swallowed is not listed on the National Poison Database, but the nursing staff are taking no chances.
So when she gets symptoms, we'll just treat her. Not an awful lot else we can do. She needs to be admitted.
It's the kind of decision Helen will have to make for herself when she qualifies.
Look to that dolphin. You do it, 'cause you're better than me. Oh, look at that.
She'll stay here another 3 to 5 hours just to keep an eye on it. Because we obviously don't know what it is, really. We've not got a specific type of treatment, so it is just observing her, just to make sure everything is all right.
28,000 children are treated for suspected poisoning in the UK every year. Madison is one of the lucky ones. After a night on the ward, she was discharged. On his previous placement, first-year Alistair developed a taste for theatre, of the surgical kind.
I might have only held a leg, but you know, one giant leap for Alistair. It's a cool sound, that drill. It's like drilling into people. And this is where I want to be. There's just so much going on.
Now, he's getting to indulge his passion again. His patient Rosalind needs a metal plate to mend her shattered shoulder. Alistair's going with her to theatre.
I have to open her up from the shoulder, put in a plate, so I think there'll be quite an incision and we'll see a lot more, so I can't wait personally. Yep, be good to get in there. I think it's important to go through every step with the patient, so you know what they've been through, if there's any pain or trouble, you know, and you can deal with that better, I think, if you've been there and seen it. So I think it's key to, providing that top-level care that's needed, and I get to do it.
Alistair's prepared to put in the hours to further his dream.
Give no chance of finishing at 7.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
just to clean that whole area.
I had a shower this morning.
No, this is...
No. Trying to get my mind off it.
My friends think I'm going to be a doctor when I finish my nursing degree. They don't quite understand what I do in the first place, never mind what happens in an operating theatre. I mean, it's not every day you come across what you come across in a hospital. I mean, until you come across it, you don't know how you're going to react. And it's not to getting a new job or, being so scared of the women and the female environment and stuff. It was more not knowing how I'd react to certain things. And I think it's those things that shape you, and once you find out, it's those things that you realise about your character that you didn't really know in the first place.
Alistair thinks he's just there to observe, but Surgeon Philip has other plans for him.
Why don't you come around here with the suction man? Come to the top. Yep. Get a nice picture of it.
Alistair has to keep the surgical site free of blood. It's a job usually done by the theatre nurse.
I got quite involved. I was really happy about it. I was actually part of an operation to sort this lady's shoulder out. So, yeah, crazy, just crazy that.
Just 5 months ago, Alistair was fitting carpets.
I had a job that paid well, but I wasn't really happy, whereas now, I'm a lot happier now, I think. It's good.
So you want to hold the scissors with your thumb and your ring finger, perhaps, and just cut those 2 ends for me. A bit longer. That's great, thank you. There you go. First surgical procedure.
I love my job, so I'm going to stick to it now. I want this job for good. Do you want me to pull?
Yeah, pull. I want you to pull. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Okay, now wash this. So that's it. We're going to stitch up now. Yep. Helping you stitch after.
Yeah, sure.
Have the next stitch, please. There you go.
One of the best days I've had. I never thought I'd be so involved in an operation, but wow. You could just be on the wards doing med rounds and 5 minutes later you're in surgery pulling sutures and aligning shoulders. So, fascinating, honestly. Amazing day. Eye-opener.
In Birmingham, only 3 weeks into her placement, second-year Aimee's training has been abruptly cut short. She has a severe kidney infection, and it can't be treated with drugs alone.
I've got to go and have a small operation on my bladder.
The operation means Aimee has to defer her placement until next year. It's a crushing blow.
Because of infection, I can't go back on the ward. And it sounds like only a little thing, just like urine infection, but I'm just so fed up.
Aimee arrives at the hospital, this time not as a student nurse, but as a patient.
When you become the patient, it can be extremely daunting because you're not in control of what's happening around you. As a student, when they're doing your blood pressure, you can't help but look over and think, is that right? Or when she was doing my pulse, I couldn't help but noticing that it was a little bit too fast. But you sort of think, oh, well, maybe that's because I'm a bit nervous, or maybe that's because I'm in pain, and the pain will make my pulse go quicker, so that's all right. When they said to me, you'll be going into theatre, I knew exactly what was going to happen because I'd seen it done on other people, but I still kind of thought, oh, crap, that's me. I am actually now the one that's going to be put to sleep. I am now the one that's going to be having a drug inserted into my arm.
Have you been into theatre before?
Yeah, I've been into theatre.
Little scratch coming there then?
You feel like the control is completely gone. Your outcome is in somebody else's hands.
Allergic to metronidazole.
To know how a patient feels and to know how uncomfortable people are when they're in hospital, I think that's important to take that experience, and when I'm working back as a nurse or as a student nurse, take time to just say to a patient, how are you feeling? Is there anything that you're worried about?
Operation over, Aimee has less than 3 weeks before the big exam she can't afford to fail.
I'll be at the risk of not just deferring my placement, I'll be at risk of deferring my year, and I don't want to do that.
In Bolton, first-year Alistair has come a long way since he first set foot on the orthopaedic ward as a raw recruit.
Just checking.
From his first surgery to his first patient pulse.
If you can find it.
5 months in, he's getting a feel for the job.
There it is.
Have you found it?
I'm good at finding these now.
His patient Rosalind is preparing to go home. Yesterday, Alistair assisted in the operation to pin and plate her broken shoulder.
You got it done now, don't you?
Yeah.
To be so involved in someone's operation and to see them afterwards, it really drives you to want to go and do it. Are you going, Rosalind?
Yeah.
Yeah? You looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Yeah? We'll get you up and out. It's been lovely, haven't you?
Thanks.
I don't want to see you back in here, though.
I hope I'm not back in here.
Lovely. Go on
Right.
then. Let's be having you. Rosalind's an amazing character, so especially once you've done like the full patient journey. I admitted her, I followed her into surgery, and then I discharged her. So I do that with someone who's as bubbly and as lively as Rosalind, and it's fantastic, really. It's just good to be so excited to come into work, really.
It's not only Alistair's patient who's made a good impression.
He's gelled really well with all of us, and everybody's accepted him as one of the team. I'm sure he'll be a fantastic nurse. He'll be absolutely brilliant at it.
Still scared of all these women.
Three weeks on from her operation and still recuperating, Aimee takes her important Year 2 exam.
As a nurse, I need to be really optimistic about every situation, and you've got to be the kind of person that's always willing to do whatever it takes to make the best out of any situation. And hopefully I am like that, and hopefully I will continue to be like that.
Aimee passed her exam and will complete her placement on the stroke unit next term. Third-year Helen is nearing the end of her training. At Salford Royal's Wound Clinic, it's her final week with mentor Kelly.
Is this Katie? Hello, my name's Kelly, and this is Helen. Tell me what you did to your finger.
I tripped over.
You tripped over your finger? What was it doing on the floor?
Helen's just one placement away from qualifying.
I feel petrified. Just because, although I feel like I have come on a lot, I suppose you never feel ready, do you? And all the nurses that I speak to, even the ones who've just qualified, are like, you'll never feel ready.
Are you okay to do the dressing?
Should we take it down?
From speaking to qualified nurses, they tell me that you never stop learning, and I think through doing the job I'll learn more and I'll develop my skills even more than I have over the past 3 years, because 3 years really isn't a long time to cram everything in. I think I'll never stop learning, but I think I've learned everything that I need to help me on the way.
If you want to sit on the bed for me and Helen will give it a proper clean and she'll put a clean dressing on it for you, okay? I still consider myself quite newly qualified, even though it's been 2 years. It's nice to see that transition that she's making from being a novice to an independent practitioner.
You feel okay? She just bandaged you back up again.
Oh, you're such a brave girl. It is quite daunting, but at the same time really exciting.
Perfect, good girl.
Getting into the uniform of a qualified nurse, that'll be the point for me where I say, actually, I've done it now, because until I actually get into them blues and I'm actually caring for a patient myself independently with my name on the board saying that I'm caring for that patient, that'll definitely be the point where I say, yeah, I've done it, I'm a nurse now, I'm qualified.